evening, friends. Today we are going to be reading a really weird little children's book that came out in 1989 called Super Mario Brothers Trapped in the Perilous Pit. This was part of a series of children's books produced by it was part of the Little Golden Book series. There was one for Zelda called Moblin's Magic Spear. But today we're going to be reading this little guy. The author is Jack C. Harris. The illustrators are Art and Kim Ellis. As you can see from just this opening page, the art style is a bit on the naive side, but that's part of what makes this book very special. As Bob Ross said, mistakes are just happy little accidents. I think he said that. He said something to that effect. Anyway. A long time ago, sometime last Monday, two apprentice plumbers from Brooklyn, New York were hard at work. Their names were Mario and Luigi, and everyone called them the Mario Brothers. On this particular day, the brothers were trying to clean up a clogged sewer right underneath a gypsy fortune teller's shop. Perhaps some magic leaked out from the shop, or maybe the Mario Brothers turned the wrong pipe. Whatever happened, the Mario Brothers suddenly found themselves being washed away through a drain pipe and into the warp zone. After falling through time and space, they eventually ended up in the magic land of Princess Toadstool's mushroom people. I like how they capitalize the whole thing, Princess Toadstool's mushroom people. That's the name of the land. That's silly, come on. Since they couldn't find a bus back to Brooklyn, they set up their own local plumbing business to keep busy until they could make their way home. Look at all these little toads. They're just so perplexed at the appearance of these weird, squashed little plumbers from Brooklyn. And that art on Princess Peach is, well, as I said before. Princess Toadstool was a super nice person and friendly ruler of the mushroom people. One day, way down deep underneath her palace, Mario and Luigi were busy putting plenty of puzzling pipes in their proper places. "This sure is hard work," said Luigi, "but I'm always happy to do work for Princess Toadstool." "It's only hard work for plumbers with hard heads," said Mario. As an aside, back during this time period, the late 80s and the early 90s, Mario, he was a little more rough and tumble. You know, he had like a deep, he had a deep voice, a Brooklyn accent. You know, he was kind of this tough guy, and Luigi was pretty similar. But this was prior to Charles Martinet taking over as voice actor. In the old cartoon, it was Lou Albano, who was also a wrestler. And then when Charles Martinet took over, he kind of went from this sort of rough-edged Brooklyn plumber to just this kind of whooping, falsetto-voiced pastiche of like an Italian-American stereotype. It was really weird. I like Mario just fine now, but I kind of like the original one. I just thought he had a little more personality. "My head may be hard," said Luigi, "but at least my stomach's normal. I don't eat disgusting stuff like mushroom and jelly sandwiches. Yeesh." "Oh no," cried Mario, ignoring his brother and searching through his lunchbox. "I've run out of fresh mushrooms. Look at that sandwich, that's nasty. Mushroom and jelly, holy moly." I know, said Mario. I'll bet there's some fresh mushrooms growing farther down. And he went looking for mushrooms, which, as we all know, grow in damp, dark places. Suddenly he heard a strange sound. Mario was horrified to see evil King Koopa and his Koopa Troopas invading the castle. Oh, check that out. Here comes Big Bowser. I really like the lighting on this page. You know, Mario looks a little weird with this strange kind of shading on his back here, but I mean, this here with the shadows coming out, this big flaming torch reaching all the way up to the ceiling of this sewer. That's good stuff. Great globs of purple pasta, thought Mario. King Koopa is up to no good. What can I do? All of a sudden, Mario looked down at his feet and saw the answer to his question. Magic red mushrooms. Eating mushrooms is very, very dangerous unless you know which ones are safe to eat. Luckily, Mario knew that these mushrooms were safe. He knew that these mushrooms had the power to make anyone change into a giant. Now I'll scare those Koopa Troopas, he said as he gobbled down a red mushroom. Just an aside, kids, don't go down into the sewer and eat mushrooms. That's a bad idea. Out from behind the pipes came a giant red Mario yelling, "Fee, fi, fo, fat, you better run or I'll squash you flat." The frightened Koopa Troopers ran screaming in every direction, because as we all know, Mario does in fact love squashing some Koopa Troopers. But evil King Koopa wasn't fooled as easily as his Koopa Troopas. "That is no giant monster," he snarled as he waved his hands majestically at the pipes. Let me read that again. As he waved his hands majestically at the pipes. That is a weird image, isn't it? Waving his hands majestically at the pipes. Oh well, who am I to criticize? I'm not the author. It is only one of those stupid Mario brothers who are always getting in the way. My menacing magic can squeeze him down to size. Watch and see. Ha ha ha. Did you know that Bowser had telekinetic powers? I didn't know that. I didn't know he could just wrap Mario up in these pipes like a boa constrictor and just squeeze him to death. Who knew that Bowser had that power? He never shows it anywhere else. Also, I want to point out that this book gets away with some stuff that you wouldn't really see in a kid's book today. You know, the word gypsy is out of style. It's been replaced with Roma, which is a more accurate name for those people. That's their name, not gypsy. It's Roma. You wouldn't be calling people stupid in a kid's book. You know, fee, fi, fo, fat. You wouldn't really see that. It's just a little indicative of its time. You know, times have changed a little. This was the late 80s. People got away with a little bit worse stuff back then. At least, you know, in children's media. Unknown to either King Koopa or Mario, Luigi was nearby. See, there he is hiding behind these pipes. After picking flowers for the princess, he went searching for his brother Mario. Oh no, he thought. I knew Mario was taking too long, but I had no idea he was getting into trouble. Wait a minute. Maybe I can help. After all, these aren't ordinary flowers. These are magic fire flowers. This does not look like your typical fire flower. I don't know what this is supposed to look like. Maybe like a peony or something? I don't know. Look at that big honking flower just sitting down there in the sewer. These guys spend too much time eating sewer flora. Out from behind the pipes, Luigi charged at the Koopa Troopers, furiously firing a fire flower. Flee! Flee, cried the frightened Koopa Troopas. The fire from the fire flower will fry our flesh. Now that's what I call consternation. Look at him, he's just torching these poor Koopas. He's just lighting them up. Hurry, hurry, called Mario. The Koopa Troopas won't remain startled for long, and we have to warn the princess. Racing through the passageways beneath the castle, Mario and Luigi tried to escape the Koopa Troopas, but the villains chased them right into a hidden trap door. "Yow, that was quite a step," yelled Luigi as he fell. "That was no step, you bumbler," said Mario. "We've fallen into a trap. How are we going to warn the princess now?" Uh-oh. I mean, these guys should be pretty used to falling down weird vacuous spaces in the middle of nowhere, right? Just reincarnate. While one squadron of Koopa Troopas captured the Mario Brothers, a second squadron continued up through the castle pipes to Princess Toadstool's throne room. "Eek!" screamed the princess as the Koopa Troopas grabbed her and her guards. "Oh, goodness gracious!" cried the princess as the Koopa Troopas carried her off. Look at this bubbling group of dumb mushrooms. These Koopas are just kind of corralling them in. They're not even fighting back. And it takes like at least 5 apparently to subdue her. Look at this little dude. Look at this little guy up here. I'm king now. He's on top of the throne. Bowser doesn't care that this little Koopa has usurped him. I mean, maybe he's just there to make sure she doesn't bonk her head, but he kind of looks like he's, taking command. Deep down in the dark, damp, perilous pit, the helpless Mario Brothers heard the princess's cries. "What can we do?" wailed Luigi. "My fire flower can't burn us out of here." "So true," cried Mario, "and my magic red mushrooms can't help. It's even too deep for a giant to climb out." "That's funny," said Luigi. "The princess's screams seem to be getting louder." "There's nothing funny about that," said Mario. "King Koopa's throwing her down here with us." "Oh, goodness gracious," said the princess as she landed on the floor of the pit with a hard bump. "King Koopa is closing the door. We're going to run out of air." "I'm sorry, but this door does not look very airtight, if you ask me. It's just a big plank of wood. There's probably plenty of air. Also, this thing looks like it's at least 10 feet deep. I mean, they've got to be sitting in... more than 10 feet, maybe 20 feet. They've got to be sitting probably in about 8,000 cubic feet. I mean, that's plenty of air. "Oh no," cried Luigi. "King Koopa will loot the castle while we're held helpless down here. Even with our magic objects, we can't seem to stop him." "But you can," cried Princess Toadstool as she noticed the flower and the mushrooms. "All you have to do is work together." And they're looking at their stuff like, "What did you say?" The anatomy of this drawing is freaking me out. Like, her arms just kind of seem to be plugged into her sides. Like, where are her shoulders? I mean, I know they're supposedly underneath these poofs, but like, dang. This one looks severely dislocated. "Together, that's it," cried Mario. He ate his last magic red mushroom. In an instant, he began to grow. Boodly boodly boop. Oop. Pardon. Held high by the giant Mario, Luigi carefully aimed his last fire flower at the wooden trap door. "It's working," he cried. "I couldn't have reached it without your help." "And I couldn't have opened it without yours," said Mario graciously. Well, look what we have here. Looks like Bowser's getting a little bidet. Boom! The fire flower burst open the wooden trap door of the perilous pit. Boom! Burst open the wooden door. A fire flower wouldn't just blow the door open. I mean, I know it shoots fireballs, but like we saw earlier, that thing operates more like a flamethrower here. It would just sit there and kind of slowly burn away the door. And if they weren't worried about running out of air, would they really want to light that much fire in a closed space? Burn up all the oxygen. What are they thinking? Where was I? Out scrambled Luigi. Before King Koopa or any of the Koopa Troopas realized what had happened, Luigi grabbed his wrench and opened the biggest water pipe he could find. To be fair, this is the very first one he could find. If it's the biggest, that's purely coincidence. Bye-bye, he said, as King Koopa and the Koopa Troopers were washed away. This might be a good time to point out that back during this time period, when everything felt kind of weird and unofficial, Bowser was frequently called King Koopa. He wasn't just Bowser. His name was Bowser, but lots of things refer to him as King Koopa. And this kind of look where he's all green all over, except for his snout and his hair and, spikes. That look was popularized in the cartoon show, the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. And I believe the Super Mario Brothers, the first one, the sprite, also kind of had that like solid green look to it. So Bowser's outfit, and not his outfit, his appearance, it wasn't really canonized properly until Mario Brothers 3. That's when he took on a little bit more orange and yellow in his palette. But prior to that, he was very, very green. You'll also notice that they're wearing, Mario and Luigi are wearing their Mario 2 outfits, where they have blue shirts and overalls that match the color of their hats. I prefer that look. I prefer them to be more solidly the color that differentiates them. But I guess I'm fine with the blue overalls. It's been like decades now where they've been that way, so it is what it is. Oh, and as you can see, this used copy has got a nice page, just a nice chunk just ripped out of the corner, which is why it was so cheap. I think I got this thing for $5. That night, a huge victory party was held in the throne room in honor of the heroic Mario brothers. "What's the matter, Mario?" asked Princess Toadstool. "Why do you look upset after your great victory?" "I ate the last mushroom to get us out of that pit. Now I have none for my mushroom and jelly sandwiches." "You know what?" asked Luigi, laughing. "I'd face 100 other dark and perilous pits, but I'd hate to see what's down in the pit of Mario's stomach." "Be quiet," said Mario, "and get me the pickles for the top of my Italian ice." Whew. The end. What a weird story. It's sort of set up to be like an origin story, but it also gives Mario the same appetite that the Ninja Turtles had back during this time period, where they were ordering like just these nasty, horrible, like marshmallow and anchovy pizzas, just mixing up totally unpalatable things. I don't know why. I don't know why that was such a thing during the late 80s, but like mixing up disgusting, mismatched foods was like this big joke in the 80s. I don't know. I don't get it. One thing I like about this copy and about all the used books I get, I like when I order a used book and it has a little bit of personalized text in it. 1/30/90. So this is January 30th, 1990. Grandparents' Day at St. Mary's Catholic School. So some kid was brought a copy of this book by his or her grandparents, and they personalized it in cursive. And for whatever reason, he or she decided that they didn't want this book anymore, and so they just stole it, or dropped it off at a Goodwill or a thrift store or something. But that's kind of sad to me. I have a bunch of books from my childhood that I've kept because they're special to me. Some of them are falling apart, but I don't know. That's something special, and I think that a book like this should be cherished. So to whoever owned this before me, I'm sorry that you had to part with it, but I'm glad that I its new owner. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Good night, sweet dreams. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.